Hey, how's it going? We are here at the 2025 SEMA show. Now we've got a lot of cool rigs in here. We've got some in here, it's about 2 years in the making. From design and thought to actual delivering at SEMA. It is Comanche. Now this thing is pretty sick because we started out with a, I think 1985 or something like that MJ. And we had to go buy a newer, what was it, XJ? And we've been robbing parts off of it to kind of bring it to a more modern feel a little bit. So this does have the new clips on it that are like the sought after ones. It does have the XJ doors on it where the mirror isn't lower, it doesn't have a wing window, like that little smoker window or whatever, but it's all kind of a cleaner look and presence. So this thing does have Ironman suspension on it, 14-inch coilovers on it from King. We had to build all of the track bars, all that kind of stuff in the shop ourselves. And then Dynatrack 44 Pro Rock front with a Dynatrack 60 rear. So this thing's gonna be pretty capable off-road. It does have 37-inch Baja Boss XS's on it with a 17-inch Recon wheel. So they are a DOT bead lock. They use an interlock technology on them, which is cool. And then as well, with those interlock bolts, we were able to remove one of those and replace it with a power tank monster valve for quick ups and air downs, because I'm sure that you guys are gonna be using this thing, you know what I mean, out in the dirt, and they want to be able to air up and air down fast. It does have a Patriot liner full spray on it. The three big partners on this are obviously Patriot liner, Bowen beds, and Go Fast campers. Bowen built a custom bed for it, and then Go Fast built a custom topper for it, or a tent, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty sick to see this thing. To me, it looks like a mini Earth Roamer or like an Aussie style Overland. It has a 45-gallon fuel tank in it, so this thing will just go for hundreds of miles without having to stop. There's a lot of overbuilt features to this, like all the Ironman joints and arms and everything are definitely more than this thing needs, but you're gonna have less issues with braking or wear and tear, which is kind of what you want. Drivetrain wise is pretty cool with this thing. We put a Gen 5 5.3 LT motor in this thing, and that's made it up to the factory 10-speed transmission, a 10L80E, and then it has a M3023 transfer case, which is the factory Chevy transfer case. You know, they come in Jeeps, Dodges, a lot of different things, but it's all factory. And it's all running through the stock ECU, and that's, you can see the stock shifter, stock four-wheel selector, all that stuff is in the dash. That's all possible because of the new tuner that HP Tuners dropped, the MPVI 4. A lot more capabilities with that device. Again, we built this thing. As we're finishing up, our tuner is literally in there, setting all the parameters and setting everything as we're doing final bolt checks and everything, to where we have batteries hooked up, we fire it up, starts right up first time. No check engine lights or anything. Only thing we had to do was adjust a gas pedal sensor on it. Other than that, pretty simple build with as much stuff's going on this. Now we do have some tuning to do, drivability, all that kind of stuff, but from building this thing, being done with it, 5 minutes later, driving it onto a trailer, driving it off the trailer, through the hall, into SEMA, it's pretty nutty to see this thing sitting here, you know what I mean? And again, concept and design to where it is now. It took a lot of work, but it's here. All right, so interior of this thing, Comanches are very small inside here, so you don't have a lot of space to work with. Ryder's not a short dude, so obviously he needs some leg room and some headroom. So we did a bench, which is a little bit easier because I can just do mounting points on the outside and suck this thing down as much as possible. But the problem is we had to do a custom floor in this for the 10-speed and tunnel and all that kind of stuff. So this is a PRP bench seat. It is pretty wide. It does fit 2 people comfortably in it. I mean, you could throw a third person in there if you want to, but that person is not gonna have a good day. It does have S-Pods in it, which control everything, even the start-stop of the vehicle itself. Your dash, you've got a PRP steering wheel, Dakota Digital, I think it's like a 94 and up gauge cluster for an actual XJ, or, you know, I mean, Comanche, whatever you want to call it. So we built the dash, center console, everything in-house, because obviously no one has anything like this. This does have a glove box still, has all your cool ports and everything on it. What's sitting here in a big blank space is going to be what Scotia's going to be putting in, with a high-tech, you know, command center in the front and all that kind of stuff. But again, very clean, a lot of space in here for what's in here. And you know what I mean, it's going to be nice for those longer road trips, that kind of stuff. We did hit up Turtle Laboratories last second. Huge shout out to them. They got these things delivered overnight on a Saturday to us because we figured that the factory door panels last minute just didn't look good in here anymore. But again, we got that done. But yeah, the factory computer's right underneath the dash. It has an OBD2 reader, so if it pops a check engine light, you can check and see what's going on with it. It's all factory. I like factory because when you're hundreds of miles from nowhere and something happens, it's easy to find parts at a common parts store than it is a race shop or something like that. So pretty cool stuff. Let's show you the garage, you know, that transfer pump and all that kind of cool stuff that we put in there. So overlanding, camping, all that kind of stuff. When you know, I mean, want to get off the grid, so to say, you want to be gone. You don't have to worry about stuff. So instead of putting, you know, a fuel cell down there that it is in the way of suspension or things like that, we opted to build a custom one. So this is a 45-gallon fuel tank that you fill it up on the driver's side, but on the passenger side has the ability to transfer. So if you're out there with a buddy who has a stock, you know, tank, or you know, you take your dirt bikes out or your UTVs out, you can actually use the 45 gallons and fill someone else up, which is pretty cool. That works right there off the Odyssey battery, which makes it super simple, you know what I mean, to transfer some fuel to someone else, you know what I mean, kind of help out a buddy. I mean, I can tell you there's been a million times where I hit the trail and I forgot to fill up. I'm gonna hang out around this guy. All right, so again, this Bowen bed is custom and it's kind of a one-off thing because of the wheelbase on a Comanche. Your typical rear tire on like a Toyota or something like that is this much closer to the cab than, you know, further away. So once we put this on there, we had this done, we knew that we had to have some kind of garage or something built that would extend this bed. So they actually built us a 12-inch garage. Most of the time you're gonna see a garage on a Bowen, it's like 2 feet wide, and it's on a Dodge 4500 or something like that, massive, right? We need something small. So they built this. We actually welded this aluminum into this aluminum to make it all one piece. So when we sprayed it, it all kind of went together. So the big thing about this is because we did that, Go Fast had no models that would fit this because the height from here to here, the distance from here to here, and the distance from here to here is all new. They don't have anything like that. So they had to build this one off for us, which they weren't stoked about, but Graham and the boys over there nailed it. You know what I mean? Like, and it was crazy because these aren't inexpensive parts. These are very expensive parts, probably more than the car's worth. But the problem is, one of them is in Colorado, one of them is in Montana, and we're in California. So trying to coordinate measurements and make sure that everything is right. Yeah, there's CAD, but it's all about interpretation. When you're reading something, where is that half-inch mark? Where is that? Is it outside? Is it inside? All that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of coordination. This thing showed up on Saturday before Sema 3 days ago. It's pretty nutty when this thing showed up and we dropped it on there, how close our tolerances were. When you look in here, you're within like a half of an inch everywhere, and everything is just nice and tight. On the rear end, you again are almost perfectly flush where we want it to be, to where we're not sitting on welds, we're not sitting on things. So when this shuts, it seals it. So if you have your camping gear in there or you're in there, it's nice. We do have an ice co in here. It's obviously full of Rockstar to get us through the week, but it's just super simple. Nice little lighting feature in there so you can, you know, get around and see what you have going on. It is all Patriot liner on there as well. That took a lot of work because we had to pull the whole car apart, spray it. Scotty did an amazing job spraying this for us in El Cajon. I mean, if you're near there, probably hit him up and he can take care of your normal bed, you know, truck bed needs and stuff. But this is all Patriot liner. So, you know, the real big partners on this thing again, Patriot, Bowen, Go Fast, Dynatrac slapped in the axles. We have a Pro Rock 44 and a 60 in the rear of this, which is pretty nutty. Let's climb under this thing and I'll show you guys what had to happen to make all of that work. All right, so again, you've got an Ironman 4x4 suspension underneath this thing, which is pretty nutty. Dynatrac 60, driveline that's mating up to that stock transfer case. But really what's important is when you look underneath this thing, how clean and up and out of the way, you have 14-inch coilovers on this. This axle is gonna be going up and down 14 inches on any given day. It has an MagnaFlow X mod underneath it with a universal setup. And we had to basically build a custom exhaust that wraps around the front of the engine to clear the drive lines and everything on the driver's side. When you're looking at this though, you'll see this drops down. There's still all the clearance it needs for here, but then it wraps up and above the top of this stock frame that we had to reinforce everywhere because this is a unibody. So there actually is no frame. There's just kind of frame rails that are still part of the unibody up front. So it's not a normal car when you think, or a normal off-road rig when you think of frame, body, that kind of stuff. It's like the Bug that we built, it's a unibody. But everything tucks up and nice and neat, so when you are crawling and you're going through stuff, you're not gonna be hitting things or wedged in things, which is gonna be nice. You're gonna clear them. But you can see all the work that went into this thing, brake lines, exhaust, fuel, all that kind of stuff is pretty nutty. You know what I mean? When you see this thing in general and what it's, you know, what we've built out of a old school MJ.